So, I came across this video. I mean, it's like a month long old. Month long old? Jesus Christ. A month old. There we go. Don't need the word long there. I don't know what the hell's going on with my brain. Brain works funny sometimes. Anywho, I came across this on the timeline. I saw that it was apparently about Tectone and Nux. Well, they were speaking to one another. So I became a little curious because right around this time, this would have been the Nicandros expose and also Tectone. Uh, I guess, well, not reflecting. Reflecting is not the correct term here. But more than likely talking about his divorce, Tectone's divorce, and also the NuxTaku expose. And then, I don't know, like, chumming it up over that or something, saying that it's a bunch of bullshit. Apparently not. Like, I took a quick skim through this video. It looks like it's mostly those two going over shit from Grok about Somalia. Because, okay, I guess for additional context, Nux decided to make a video about Somali people in Africa and talk about the history of Africa and have no idea what the fuck he's talking about in terms of the history of Africa because he's just a grifter and a dumbass who's trying to basically move on to the next grift from what he was doing previously, which was, what was he doing previously? Was it the hentai stuff? I think it was the hentai stuff and all the collaborations he was doing with a bunch of people. Nox has done a bunch of degenerate shit in the past. There's the Nicandros expose that goes into it. It's bad, obviously. Yada, yada, yada. I don't need to relitigate why it's bad. Blah, 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 blah. So I thought they were probably going to talk about that, but no. They're mostly talking about, like, Somalia, African history, and probably barely knowing anything about African history because these guys don't think that the problems that happen in Africa are a byproduct of colonialism. They think it's a byproduct. Well, Nux thinks it's a byproduct of quote unquote black culture, which is very fucking silly. It's like, no, scramble for Africa, transatlantic slavery, and a whole bunch of other stuff is the main reasoning for as to why Africa is as underdeveloped as it is. And the Europeans said themselves that was the express purpose of colonization behind Africa. But does Nux care about that or Tectone care about that? No. They don't give a shit about any of that stuff. They would prefer to just, like, I don't know, bitch, moan, and complain about the quote-unquote culture of Africans. It's stupid. It's nonsensical. It's the same racist fucking dreck we have seen consistently for the past, I don't know, 10 years at this point. Much longer than that, but you know what I mean. In terms of the recent advent of all of this. Anywho, let's get started with this.
I'm doing very well, actually. Thank God. Everything's great. Real life is good. Content is fun. So yeah, no, can't complain.
What do you got going on in real life? Do you have anything you want to share or no?
Not with stream.
Okay.
I shared it with you, to be honest. You know the thing.
Yeah.
You
but, started doing
CrossFit. Yeah, that.
That's awesome, bro. I think the fitness journey is fucking huge, and I'm proud that you finally started.
More like fitness stick in your mouth.
I did see that. That's insane. I saw Hasan basically telling him to kill himself with all of his empathy and leftist love.
Yeah, no, that.
The tolerant left strikes again.
Did you see my?
Okay, this is also the thing that these dumbasses consistently do all the time. Like, okay, the paradox of intolerance bullshit. Talking like having an obsession with Hasan. Like, bro, I don't know. Hop off that dude's dick. I don't know. Like, it's very, very silly. Like, I don't even know what Nux is fucking talking about. It's probably stupid. It's silly. Who the fuck cares?
Tweet on that?
No, I didn't see your tweet.
Yeah, I tweeted out. I'm gonna read it for you. Because Hasan's reaction to Chibi announcing that he almost killed himself was like one of the most, like, you know. It was like,
oh, it's in context to the Chibi Reviews drama. Okay, I was thinking about taking a look at this myself for a little bit, because Chibi Reviews is a piece of shit, for various reasons. But to put a extremely quick TLDR on all of that, Chibi Reviews is an anime review channel who's a bit of a weirdo. He's had controversies in the past over some of his takes about lollies. Would you believe that he was a lolicon? Or still is a lolicon? I think he has like a lolly of the week category. Very weird, but whatever. he had a girlfriend who was his fiance for, I think, about a year or two. I think it was about 2 years, who cheated on him with his best friend of 10 years, as well as the fact that his friend group, they knew about the fact that they were cheating, or that his fiance was cheating on his best friend with him, and decided to completely cut off Chibi Reviews. Chibi Reviews is a very, very weird person, genuinely kind of insane. A bunch of other people talked about him. He's a very fucking weird dude. He's done a bunch of weird fuck shit. We don't have to get into it necessarily about that, but just to put like a quick little, I suppose, bow into all of this, Chibi Reviews is a very, very, let's just say, strange guy on the internet who does anime reviews. Let's just go with that. And I guess, like, he's probably talked about Hasan before. Hasan told him to, I don't know, kill himself or something, because he's like a weird fucking piece of shit. Yeah, I don't know. Like, more than like, if I were to make a guess, Chibi Reviews probably also participated in the Collargate stuff, which is just, it's a bunch of fucking nonsense. I don't really care about Collargate stuff. Like, literally, you can criticize Hasan for other things, but these people constantly pick the dumbest shit on the fucking planet. Whatever, I don't care. We're moving on from fucking Collargate. So that's probably why Hasan doesn't fucking like that guy in particular. It's fair enough. I'd also be probably pretty fucking annoyed with someone constantly bringing up fucking Collargate, because it's dumb. It's just dumb. It's just stupid. Like, what, I don't know, like, what else is there to really say besides, like, Collargate is just dumb. You guys can come up with, like, literally anything else. You guys don't understand what empathy fucking means, or care to understand what empathy means. You've never cared about anything when it comes to empathy. Like, I don't know. If you guys could just constantly tell people to kill themselves, you would without, like, a second thought. Like, you don't care about any of this stuff. You people are all a bunch of dumbass pieces of shit. Like, I don't know, like what else is there to really say? Like, none of these people care about any of this stuff.
It was one of the most inhuman things I've ever seen. So I put out, I don't know, man. Maybe the guy laughing at people's suicide attempts, abusing his dog on stream, saying America deserved 9/11, and encourages audience to kill high-power American officials is like evil or something. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, something like that.
It's like, I don't know how this guy keeps on doing all this shit. You're like, oh, you know what? I just think Hasan's the good guy. I don't know. He's so cute. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you couldn't make like a Disney supervillain.
I mean, buddy, you're a fucking rapist. Like, hello? You're gonna say Hasan is a Disney supervillain when you're a fucking rapist? You have a protective order against you. You can't own guns for the next 10 years because you were constantly claimed in that fucking in that case that you were an unmedicated diagnosed schizophrenic with guns who may be stalking his fucking ex-girlfriend, along with the dude who unironically had a private Discord server where he saw a kid getting fucking groomed. Okay, man, but Hasan is like a supervillain in comparison. That's stupid.
Look more evil than Hasan does every single stream he goes live. It just makes no sense.
The craziest thing is, like, if they would have a supervillain like be exactly like Hasan, I would say the writing is terrible. This is unrealistic. No one's that evil. Like, he supports terrorists, pedophiles, and abuses his dog. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, it's unrealistic. Yeah, fucking nuts. The current timeline that we're experiencing.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are the problem with the current timeline we're experiencing. But again, I'm going to say this again. NuxTaku facilitated an environment where child grooming was more likely to happen in his fucking goddamn content and fucking private Discord server that he had for his fucking patrons. And Tectone currently has a protective order on him, has abused his ex-wife, has abused his ex-girlfriend, and has a protective order because of the abuses that he did on his fucking ex-girlfriend. So, but Hasan bad or something. Okay, dude. Whatever.
I believe the other day you said, this was like maybe a couple weeks ago, you said that you wanted to have a call with me where you would quote-unquote radicalize me. And
yes.
I believe today you wanted to talk about ICE.
I'm good with ICE. I'm good with multiple topics. We could do.
Oh boy.
We could do multiple episodes if you want. It's totally your call. But I'm happy to radicalize you on various situations.
I'm down to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about ICE or immigration in general because a lot of people are like debating and they're all wrong. Okay. The debate should not be what it is. Because it's super obvious that everyone that comes into the country illegally needs to get deported.
Yeah, it's very obvious.
Right? Like, it's very obvious. Like, we have a country, we have borders, you come in illegally, you gotta go. I mean, listen, it's as simple as that.
Yep.
I know, and a lot of people will bitch and cry, oh no, you're separating families. Well, skill issue. Don't invade another country next time.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, wait, these illegal migrants are invading? Most of them are refugees because of, Afghanistan, that Trump botched the fucking negotiations and pullout for, but okay, fantastic, great. A bunch of them are also refugees because of bombings that the Trump administration and various other presidents have done, but they should get deported. Okay, cool, whatever, stupid. I'm sorry that the asylum process is too slow for you fucking troglodytes. The party that you people support explicitly, that being, the Republican Party, have defunded all of the courts and all of the mechanisms in order to make the process much faster for the courts. Why? Because they need political issues to run on. And also, the wave of Venezuelan migrants that also all claimed asylum and... Well, probably not all of them. There's probably some of them that are illegal, that came in through legal ports of entry, which is where they all came from. But whatever. Sure. Again, the party that you guys support, that being the Republican Party, did a coup in 2019 in Venezuela. Because of the failure of that coup and the subsequent hyperinflation that happened because of the sanctions that was slapped on the country, made up millions upon millions of people leave that fucking goddamn country. But do any of these dipshits care about that? No.
And I think that should be the same for every treatment. If I were to invade, Japan illegally to get my Genshin Impact baddies, I would expect to be deported as well. I would not cry, oh my god, you're separating me from my waifu. No, I just wouldn't break the fucking law. I feel it's very cut and dry. I feel like anybody trying to argue against it is just retarded. So then what did you want to say?
These guys, again, asylum is a fucking legal process. I'm going to say this constantly over and over and over again. It is a legal process. It is legal to claim asylum under international fucking law. You can cope and fucking seethe about it.
Agree. All right, so when it comes to immigration, there's multiple things going on that aren't being discussed, in my opinion, properly. And that is the fact that some cultures are inferior.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm not surprised at all. NuxTaku talking about culture inherently. Yeah, dude, because fucking culture is... That's the main fucking problem with the immigrants that are coming up, and not because of anything that the U.S. is doing around the fucking world. Whether it be in Venezuela, Africa, or the fucking Middle East, or any of the other Western countries that have done anything in any of those countries at any point in time in history. No, it's because of fucking culture. Like, this is how children think.
Sounds a little bit like the Asmongold take that got him into trouble, but the difference is...
Really?
Are actually just worse, and I don't want them imported here.
Sure.
And I don't think this should be a controversial...
Wait, have you ever thought about the reasonings for as to why Asmongold might have gotten in trouble for that one, Nux? He unironically said, and this is what Nux is not going to say, Asmongold's take that got him banned for 2 weeks on Twitch was saying that the Israelis are justified in their bombing of Palestinians because of them having an inferior culture. But then again, since you yourself moved to fucking Israel and had I think it was a cousin who served in the IDF, who participated in the attacks against Gazans, against Palestinians, you would probably agree with that take. You would have no problem with what's being said there, because again, you're just a genocidal little fucking freak. It's not about them having inferior cultures. I don't know how many times this needs to be said to you fucking morons. A rising tide raises all ships. Maybe, just maybe, and this is a radical idea, if people stopped fucking with these countries, then they would have the time to be able to develop better civil infrastructure. But no, they've been exploited and pillaged by a bunch of Western countries who have done colonialism in the fucking past, and that is why, they are not as well civically fucking developed, or culturally fucking developed, in fact. These countries have been around for longer than the United States of America, you stupid morons. They have rich cultures and histories that have been developed throughout the past, like, thousands upon thousands of years. We just don't know about them because either they have not been recorded or they've been wiped out by a bunch of fucking colonizers. Stupid.
Per se. Like, for example, hypothetically, if there was a country where the average IQ in that country was 67, I just wouldn't want those people coming to our... It's hilarious. Do you know the average IQ in Somalia?
Is that what the average IQ is in Somalia?
Look it up.
Is that real? Hold up. Average IQ Somalia.
It's not. First off, very good Birdman video about this. That is not the average IQ of Somalia. The basis of there being it being 67 or around 60, it's like 67.66. Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. Is based off of someone who is an avowed race scientist known as Richard Lynn. Richard Lynn is a proud scientific fucking racist who publishes all of his works works. Let's call them that. In racist journals, because of the fact that he has been thoroughly and utterly debunked by the broader scientific community, because he's just a liar. He had a conclusion that he wanted to fucking work backwards from, and that is, all Somali people or all African people are unironically like subhumanly low IQ. That's the problem. And the basis for as to why he said that the IQ of Somalis is 67, or rather that the entirety of the sub-Saharan subcontinent has an IQ of 67, is because of one test that he did in a Somali refugee camp. Yeah, that's what he's basing his fucking test off. One fucking goddamn refugee camp in Somalia. And he's going to make the claim that the entirety of the IQs, the collective IQs of a bunch of differing peoples with differing cultural backgrounds and a bunch of differing customs, education systems are all, and various amounts of exploitation from Western powers, as well as different points in development after their independence from various Western powers, is going to all be 67, and that's like every fucking, tribe, culture, individual within sub-Saharan Africa. And all of them have an IQ of 67. That's very fucking convenient, Richard Lynn, you fucking dumbass. But are any of these guys going to, bring that up? No.
It says not available. The countries not included in the most comfortable global IQ rankings. I'm looking for any... Oh, average IQ by country. Hold up, I found it. Let me look this up. Let me pull this down.
Put into an AI. Put into ChatGPT or Grok or something.
Somalia, I gotta find that shit. Would you be able to... what the fuck? Oh my god, they can say that on the map?
Oh no, they won't have it on this. No. On the average IQ by country, they...
Oh yeah, because this is probably like an actual... Yeah, because... Oh, I wonder why Nux is having a problem immediately with this site, which more than likely did base it off of a bunch of statistical analyses, right? I wonder why Nux might be having a problem with this and is trying to make Tectone ask Grok in particular. I wonder why that might be the case. It makes you think there for a little bit. Now, it could be possible that a bunch of those African countries are grayed out because there are constant civil wars going on in the area, and so people can't really go in there to make fair assessments and actually be able to, analyze the IQs of the people in this fucking of that fucking country, because there's constant wars that are going on. It's too dangerous to fucking do that. Duh. Obviously. So they're not going to get an accurate fucking picture. Duh. Obviously. But Nux would prefer Tectone to, have the racist AI in Grok made by Elon Musk to basically, have Tectone look up the ideological predilections that Nux currently has. It's incredibly fucking stupid. Yeah, that's a great point there, Boy Meets Mini. Quick reminder, you want to know why IQs are probably lower in a bunch of these sub-Saharan African countries, and it's what any other geneticist or historian or anyone who analyzes any of this stuff would say. It's because of child exploitation and child labor that happens in cobalt mines. This computer that we have has cobalt in it. These smartphones we have cobalt in it. Where has that gone from? Africa. That's where a bunch of the deposits of cobalt are in the world, is in Africa. And a lot of that is gotten through, child labor. And so because they're working in the mines all the fucking goddamn time, that means they don't have the ability to be able to go to school in order to improve their fucking IQs. Silly.
Don't put Somalia. You go to Somalia, you'll see they have it blank.
Okay, wait, really? Why don't they have it?
They leave it blank on purpose. It's racist.
What?
And it's not because it's racist. It's probably because they're just not able to get any of the data from there because they're still in a civil war. Yeah, they can't go in there and get the data. It's not because it's racist. It's stupid.
Yes,
but go to Grok.
Okay,
Go to Grok.
Okay, let me pull up Grok right now.
I wonder why we're going to Grok. Why are we going to Grok? Interesting.
Grok AI.
Oh my god, just go to Twitter, click the Grok tab.
Dude, I don't know how to do that. Just give me a fucking
He's like
second.
42 years old.
Hold up, I don't
use
use Grok.
At least he has his Genshin Impact baddies to keep him company.
I don't use Grok for shit. Alright, I have it pulled up. We're gonna use
You shouldn't use Grok for shit.
What is the average IQ of Somalia? 6, 7. 6, 7, 6, 8. Okay, that's fucking crazy. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that certain cultures are inferior, especially when cultures are like, oh, if you're gay, we just kill you on the spot. Like, I don't see why people would even,
I don't know how many times this needs to be said to these fucking troglodytes. Yeah, he's not even fucking reading it. It unironically says, this primarily comes from compilations by psychologist Richard Flynn and later updated with David Becker based on very limited data. Even Grok itself fucking debunks the bullshit that they're saying. This should be completely fucking thrown out because, again, it says based on very limited data. When people went through the data itself, it turns out that these guys were actually off by about a standard deviation in terms of their measurements. And that the IQs of Somalis, broadly speaking, were about below average in the 80 to, I think it's like 80 to 85 range, around there, I think, which is a whole standard deviation off in comparison to 67 to 68. Yeah, like, it's so fucking dumb, man.
Wins at the idea that some cultures are inferior.
But what if I told you that there were like 50 countries like that and we're still importing people from these countries?
I would believe you 100%. I believe America's taking on way too many countries when they fucking should.
I'm gonna make a guess that he's just like Nux is basically just going to believe the 3 IQ bullshit from fucking Richard Flynn without like thinking about it any further. It's just gonna be Richard Flynn 3 IQ bullshit, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like it might sound racist, but why take the chance? Like, why should we bring people into our country? That makes our country worse. Like, did you know that?
That's just not how that works, man. Just because you have a low IQ doesn't make a country worse. That's just not how any of this works. If you want these people's IQs to improve, then you have to put them in an environment where it is possible for their IQs to improve. Because based off of the Flynn effect, we know that if people are in a better environment, their IQ points rise. No. Oh my god. Whoa. Oh. What a fucking shock.
85%. Okay, I feel bad for the poor Somalis. I'm going to be picking on them a little bit. Do you know that 85% of Somalis are on welfare?
I can believe that.
Okay, so that's also another bullshit fucking statistic based off of the fact that 80% of Somalis, when they came in as refugees, had to take the refugee program, right, in order to be able to get a start in America. And then eventually, once they are able to get on their own feet, they are no longer on that welfare program. Shocker.
Statistic. I know they were doing the Somalian daycare fraud, which was fucking disgusting. The actually was what percent of Somalians in America are on welfare?
Like, welfare means your tax dollars are funding them.
Yes, which is fucking.
That's not how that works.
Just like
okay.
We're bringing people in, and our taxes are paying for their lifestyle.
Jesus, 81%, 89% if the Somalian households have children. No, it's fucking ridiculous. So they're legit just coming to the country and making it work.
Hey, you need to you dipshits should really, really look at the fucking specifics. So, 81% of Somali immigrant-headed households in Minnesota, again, that's only in Minnesota. There are more Somalis that live around the United States of America, but whatever, receive some form of means-tested welfare, including cash assistance, which is TANF/SSI, that's the refugee program, that's SNAP/food stamps, Medicaid, and sometimes housing/WIC. Now, the thing is those programs, by the way, SNAP, Medicaid, and, well, sometimes housing/WIC, those are not given to illegal migrants. So first off, immediate problem there for you fucking dipshits, okay? This raises to 89% for Somali households with children. That's not exactly accurate, but again, these are the Somali refugees that came in during the 90s and needed, because they were generally speaking poor, because they were refugees because of a civil war that was fucking happening, but whatever. I digress. These people needed to get initial assistance because they didn't have any fucking money, and that's how it works in a broader civilized society. Well, it was both U.S. and Soviet-backed. Both regional hegemons at the time during the Cold War had involvement in the Somali Civil War. Well, there was a war there. They supported either side. It destabilized the country. This is a very, very simple summary. I forget the name of the war, but this is an extremely simple TLDR form of the summary. It collapsed the Somali government, it went into civil war, and that's why you have Somaliland and Somalia. Period, end of story. And a bunch of, refugees came over during the 90s because of that war. Oh, because of colonial interests in the area. Oops. Continuing on with the whole, what is it? I guess debunking here. Specific breakdowns. 54%, approximately 54% receive SNAP. 73 have at least one member on Medicaid. And 27% receive cash welfare. For comparison, only approximately 21% of native-born Minnesota households use any of these programs. Okay. Even among Somali households in the U.S. for 10 plus years, usage remains high at approximately 78%. Okay. I'm going to reiterate the main problem with this. If we are talking about refugees who've had refugee status, who weaned off of the refugee status once they were able to get on their own feet and begin contributing to taxes, we know that the amount of taxes contributed by Somalis is, in line with, most other fucking migrants? Let me get the fucking statistics on that. Here. Somali immigrants in Minnesota are pushing back against President Donald Trump's claim that they don't work and contribute nothing, pointing to decades of labor and entrepreneurship. Somali Minnesotans generate at least $500 million in income annually. They pay about $67 million in state and local taxes. Somalis have an estimated $8 billion impact on the state's economy. They sure do seem to be a huge drain on the fucking economy for the state. All those welfare queens, silly. Somali GDP is around $12 billion. So that's cool. And immediately here, a quick, I suppose, debunk from, I assume, someone who's a part of the Somali diaspora. The X% of Somali households on welfare claim is wrong, and people need to stop repeating it like it's a fact. So let's be clear about what it actually is and what it is not. The numbers being cited do not come from an official government welfare database. That's a little fucking interesting that it's not coming from there specifically. Now, does Grok outline that particular case? Let's see. It does cite the ACS, which the individual here writing this particular thread is fucking wrong. Interesting. And is not an official government welfare database. So we're operating off of some random fucking third party instead. That's a little interesting. They come from an analysis of American Community Survey data. The ACS is a large census survey where households self-report information. That's a little interesting. So you're basing this off of self-reported fucking information from people who may get that fucking survey call and may potentially lie on that fucking survey. That which may have some some inherent problems with the data that this survey may potentially collect. As is being said here, self-reported surveys do not capture every Somali household, and they do not track welfare usage by ethnicity in official administrative records. Only government data can show national or statewide welfare statistics. No one outside the government has access to nationwide welfare records, and even the government does not track welfare by ethnicity. So we want to talk about how Somalis are such a drain on the economy, even though that is not the fucking case, and also base it off of them, the 81% of them who are all on a bunch of fucking welfare from some random fucking third-party survey website, and we're going to say that this is going to be the case for all Somalis, and this is grounds for saying that 81% of Somalis are on fucking welfare. Okay, stupid. Since the department responsible for collecting welfare data does not differentiate between ethnicity, these claims are unverifiable. Whoa. So, because they don't assess based off of, differing sort of ethnicities, you can't verify if it is the case with fucking Somalis, because why would they make it an ethnic thing if it's American citizens that they're going to be reporting on, because those are the people who have access to fucking welfare specifically within America. Shocker, I know. They're not basically going to just talk all about the illegal migrants who are taking all the money from the fucking welfare system. It's stupid. It's nonsensical. The data that Grok, quote unquote, is basing this off of is stupid. That is true, Boy Meets Mini. Yes, it is like saying all Indians are curry-scented H-1Bs. And yeah, people from South Asia immigrate all sorts of ways that are documented and undocumented. Whoa, oh, crazy. It turns out it's a lot more fucking complicated than that. Oh, Title 42 left 600,000 Indians stranded at the border? Well, these people would say that's a good thing. The percentages being repeated are estimates and not official counts. Yeah, do you guys know what that fucking tilde sign is? Now, I understand that you guys probably don't know basic fucking programming, but the tilde sign means approximately. We don't have actual fucking numbers on this because, again, it is an unverifiable fucking number. If this was a real statistic pulled from an actual database, the number would be consistent, but instead it shifts. Somalis make up a relatively small population. I believe it is about 1.6% of the population within Minnesota. If we care so much about illegal fucking migrants or something, or wait, no, that's illegal immigrants that exist in Minnesota. If we care so much about illegal fucking migrants everywhere, there are much worse states that have a bigger illegal immigration fucking problem. Oh, that being like Florida and Texas. But those are Republican states, so therefore those illegal migrants must be good. Stupid. Whatever. Yes, 100% of Dahos are based. This is true. That means the ACS sample of Somali-headed households is relatively small as well. Yup, so you can't really have an accurate number on all this. Analysts then extrapolate from that small self-reported sample, often across multiple years, to estimate population-level percentages. That's how you end up with these big dramatic numbers. Another glaring issue is that welfare usage and human behavior are not predictable in a way that allows precise extrapolation for any ethnicity or nationality. Yeah, makes a lot of sense there. A fresh off the boat migrant is going to behave way differently in comparison to, well, a second generation migrant or a third generation fucking migrant, all of whom do less crimes in comparison to native born fucking citizens. But do any of these motherfuckers care about that? No. You cannot reliably predict the behavior of an entire group this way. On top of that, the data is self-reported and cannot be independently verified because, once again, the government does not track welfare usage by ethnicity in its actual program records. Seems rather fucking succinct. So, again, the foundation of this percentage claims are survey data, small subgroup sample, self-reported responses, extrapolated estimates, and no administrative verification. Anyone who has an actual sort of any form of scruple within statistical analysis would look at all of this and say, this is the basis that you guys are having to make the claim that 80% of fucking Somalis are all on welfare, and you guys are going to take that at face value. That's extremely fucking stupid. Well, then again, the individuals that we're dealing with are also incredibly fucking stupid.
Worse for everybody else, taking all of everybody else's money. That's fucking crazy. I didn't know it was that bad. That actually is far worse than what I thought. That's fucking crazy.
It is a radicalizing number. Like, you see this, and it's like, why are we doing this to ourselves? We're killing ourselves. Now, what do you think happens
based off of inaccurate numbers? But whatever.
Sure.
Right, let's say I bring in 250,000 Somalis into like one small community. Who do you think the elected official is going to be?
Somalian.
Oh, yeah, Ilhan Omar, in fact, was elected.
What the fuck are you talking? Okay, first off, Ilhan Omar is a fucking naturalized citizen, so she can run for elections. You fucking moron. Doi, obviously. If you're an illegal migrant and you run for office, they won't allow you to run for office. Shocker, I know. You can run for, I think, you can't run for president. I think you can run for Senate. You can run for House. And you can also run for, obviously, like a bunch of local office positions. Or, yeah, local offices, rather. That makes sense? Like, doi? This, I think, Ilhan Omar's district is, I believe, Minnesota's 5th, I think. I haven't looked like the population fucking breakdown specifically of that in particular. Is it like a majority Somali population in there? I have no fucking idea, to be honest. Nor that it really matters, because she would have to appeal to a bunch of Minnesotans who are white anyways, because that's the position, or that's like how the demographic breakdown is. I don't think it is. They're a significant minority. That's what I fucking thought, because again, there's not that many Somalis that are living in Minnesota. Minnesota's population is not that fucking high. Again, there's a lot of Somalis that live there, but the population of Somalis that live in Minnesota, I think it's like not even 100K plus.
Because the Somali community voted for her. All right. So essentially, now Ilhan Omar is constantly in Congress, and guess what? The number one thing on her mind is that she's fighting for.
Somalians.
As an example.
More
Somalians
welfare.
and immigration and welfare. So essentially, what we're doing is we're taking massive communities of foreigners, we're putting them, we as in the Democratic Party, which left the borders open for 4 years. All right. We are bringing them in. We are putting them in specific areas. All right. To elect their own retards. Okay. So that those retards could fight against immigration policy to bring in.
So again, this is like 3 IQ great replacement fucking rhetoric here coming from Nux. It's like, first off, again, you have to become a citizen to run for office. Ilhan Omar is a fucking naturalized citizen. She can run for office if she fucking wants to. She still has to, broadly speaking, appeal, because again, Somalis are a significant minority within Minnesota's 5th district, and so a bunch of them voted for her because of that. So again, it's stupid. Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul metro area is 2.6 million people. Oh, so there, yeah, and 100,000 Somalis are going to make such a gigantic fucking difference in terms of that dent of the, I think it's a Minneapolis, St. Paul metro area that Ilhan Omar represents, or a part of it, obviously, with Minnesota's 5th. Do any of these dipshits care about that? No, they fucking don't. They don't give a shit. Because the racism is the point with these dumbasses. She still has to appeal to a bunch of other populations living within her fucking district in order to be able to get into office. That's how an election works. That's how getting into office works. But these guys don't care about that.
More retards to vote for more of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly not surprised. I mean, it was the same.
Don't worry, this isn't just Somalians. In fact, I know a certain judge in a certain county in Texas that was elected because of this exact situation as well.
Yeah, yeah, I know about corrupt judges very, very, very well. It's also the same thing with the
I'm sure you do.
With Iryna Zarutska's killer that was, I believe, released 17 times. It was another black judge that felt bad for him just because they're black.
I think it was 24 times.
Oh, yeah,
20.
No, that's just because of how cash bail fucking works within I think it's Charlottesville, right? No, that's just how no cash bail the system, broadly speaking, works. Now, can you make an argument that constantly putting, I forget the name of the guy who killed Iryna Zarutska. First off, the only reason why these motherfuckers care at all about Iryna Zarutska is because she's a nice-looking fucking blonde white girl who got killed by a black man. Oh, whoa, shocker. It's all about racism again with these dumbasses. She's a Ukrainian fucking refugee. All these dumbasses tend to be pro-Russian, although Tectone's not really talked about that in particular. They don't care about, white people who got killed because of someone who's been constantly released due to no cash bail. Stupid. It's a bunch of nonsense. It's just a culture war talking point for these simps. Unironic, just simps. They don't have any principle in any of this. They don't care about this in particular. The case with Iryna Zarutska is, should the guy who probably have been released constantly been put in jail for longer? Sure, you can make that fucking argument, right? I don't disagree with that. However, you should ask yourselves this question in particular. If he keeps reoffending and constantly going back to jail over and over and over again, do you perhaps not think that there may be a bigger problem that may be stemming from the fact that the dude keeps ending up in jail? He was a homeless schizophrenic man. He was clearly suffering from a bunch of mental issues from the fact that he was a homeless guy, which happens all the fucking time. So again, throwing him in jail with recidivism as bad as it is in the United States of America, with nowhere to go and no job prospects whatsoever because he has a criminal record on him with no house, is not going to be exactly conducive to being able to creating someone who is mentally stable. Constantly throwing the guy in jail over and over again clearly is not fucking working. The guy clearly needs some fucking help.
4 times. It's crazy because the problem is that people take like judges and officials' opinions as like the be all end all. But at the end of the day, these are people that have agendas that they want to push. And it's not every single judge, it's not every single official, but it's a lot of them. And so a lot of injustice happens because we allow these people to slip through the cracks.
The only reason why Tectone says that these judges have an agenda to push is because he thinks that the correct ruling, I will say, that the judge had in his protective order case is more than likely some judge that's pushing a fucking goddamn agenda. Yeah, that's a good point, Boy Meets Mini. Yeah, you don't have a fucking agenda that you don't push? It's silly.
And a lot of them are being hired not due to their education, not due to their classification, but they're being hired and put in these positions just because people want to feel good about themselves, and it's honestly making the country worse.
No, you fucking judges are elected, you moron. Like, what are you talking about? Judges have elections. Idiot. They don't get hired. They get elected by the community. So they run an election to get elected. And they get votes in order to get elected. Idiot.
Fuck that.
So to be honest, I was going to include that whole speech that you just said in the feminism episode, because feminism is also cancer, and we could talk about that another day.
Oh, is this episodic?
I guess so. What am I supposed to say? There's a lot of retards out there that you're not allowed to talk about.
Of course. No, okay, great.
We're looking at two of them.
I'm always down to talk about that.
All right, well, I'm good with that. We could do it now, or we could do it later. Like, but I can tell you a few more facts that will scare the shit out of you in regards to immigration,
Sure.
like even legal immigration. All right.
Sure.
So, for example, did you know that 40% of students in America these days like can't read in high school?
Yeah.
Right, so that's pretty insane.
Like they can't read at a high school level, right? Like they're topping out at an 8th grade English level, I believe it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
Now, did you know that these statistics are actually including people that have an average IQ of 67?
Yeah, I believe I've looked at.
Why the fuck does it matter what their average IQ in terms of their reading ability? Like, what correlation does that have? That's wholeheartedly irrelevant. Also, I thought that the IQ of 6... Whatever. It's stupid. There is no relevance in terms of people's reading attainment based off of their IQ levels. No, it's because of the defunding of education that has, broadly speaking, happened in the United States of America, which both of you have seemingly also suffered from.
This as well. I believe it was if you exclude certain races. So, like, for example, the United States reading level is incredibly low, but if you just do the average IQ or the average reading level of the white people in America, it's actually one of the highest in the world, I believe.
Right. So isn't that a little interesting that we're constantly?
Oh, maybe because white people have more ability to be able to get better educated, and instead of the minority populations who don't have as much of an ability to get as well educated as all the white people. Oh, it's almost as if, again, the problem is with racism.
Talking about how shitty the United States is, but it's not because of the Americans that it's shitty.
No, yeah, of course. Everybody knows that from not fucking brainwashed on Twitter.
No, of course.
Well, a lot of people are brainwashed.
Yeah, they are, of course. America bad. The first thing.
Wait, how are they brainwashed on Twitter? I thought Elon owned the platform and made it such that free speech was allowed, and now people are getting brainwashed on Twitter? Like, which is it, you fucking morons? You can't, like, these people can't be fucking satisfied with anything. Like, it's insane.
Think of as America is white people, but white people are catching
Obviously.
and white people are catching all the flack of shit that white people didn't fucking do. I mean, it's the same thing with slavery that I've talked about many
that's a funny
times.
one.
Oh, that's fucking ridiculous,
Yeah.
dude. The only
What? Oh, so we're starting to get into fucking slavery. Dude, white people shipped over a bunch of fucking goddamn slaves into the fucking goddamn United States of America. And they bartered with the local kingdoms to get slaves in order to get goods for themselves, because, oh, guess what? It turns out monarchies are also abusive to their other minority fucking population. Like, this is incredibly fucking stupid.
only people who get guilted on earth for slavery is white people, when in reality they were the ones who abolished it. And it was also black people who sold black people into slavery, not fucking whites. It's crazy.
No, the first country that abolished slavery, I believe, was Haiti. And from what I recall, Haiti, not a majority white country. It's a majority, well, black country, because of all the slaves that were imported into Haiti, you fucking morons.
Yeah, but also
Actually, no. Who were the first to actually abolish slavery? Was it the caliphates? I'm curious. Let me actually double check that. I'm curious. Here, timeline of the abolition of slavery. Who actually banned it first? Well, we have the Athenians here, who are Mediterranean white people, a little different, but this is debt slavery of Athenian citizens, but they still had chattel slavery, was still continued within Athens. But here, 3rd century BC, it was the Mauryan Empire. It was in India, the first people who abolished fucking slavery. So Indian Emperor Ashoka abolishes the slave trade within the empire. Now, obviously, empires rise and fall. They have differing rules, customs, blah, 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 blah. Some of them re-implemented slavery, yada, yada, yada. This is not always going to be consistent. But the first actual empire, and I guess polity, that abolished slavery was actually in the Indian subcontinent. And then it was the Romans. The Romans were right next. So good job, white people. You guys also abolished slavery. Well, for Roman citizens. Yikes. They still had chattel slavery, though. So, almost good job, white people. The Jin Dynasty. Wang Mang. That's a name. First and only emperor of the Jin Dynasty, usurped the Chinese throne and instituted a series of sweeping reforms, including the abolition of slavery and radical land reform from 9 to 12 AD. It would be reinstituted after his passing, as these, among other reforms, were unpopular with the elite sentiment. Oh, you're telling me that the elites were not very happy with the abolition of slavery? Oh, crazy. What a shock. So far we have India. We got China. Obviously, it got gotten rid of. It got reinstituted, but again. Rome, Pope Gregory I banned Jews from owning Christian slaves. We're getting there. Queen Bathalid, a former slave, and the Council of Chalon-sur-Saône, sure, whatever, condemned the enslavement of Christians. Bathalid purchased a slave, mostly Saxon and Manumit, frees them. So she would buy slaves and then free them, okay? Sure. Pope Zachary bans the sale of Christian slaves to Muslims, purchases all slaves acquired in the city by Venetian slave traders and sets them free. So again, it's progressing forward, mostly in terms of Christians at first. That's generally speaking how it fucking works. But a bunch of people will say, like, yeah, Christians, not fucking good. We're mostly going to get stuff from the Christians because that's the history that we're going to have, generally speaking. But if we're talking about who did it first, it would be the Indians and the fucking Chinese. So it was not white people. They were not the first to abolish fucking slavery. Obviously, because empires change, a bunch of reforms that were put in by previous rulers get reinstituted by the next rulers. Happens all the fucking goddamn time. We all know about the sort of history of slavery here. I mean, we can keep going through this, talk about serfdom, talk about differing this would be mostly differing European kingdoms now, because this is the history that we do have. We're going to be missing history from a bunch of other places. It's mostly going to be a bunch of differing sort of Western European, not countries, but kingdoms that have done it, generally speaking, in various differing forms. Yes, there was always continued slavery through prison labor, even in all these places. Indentured servitude, indentured servitude was also a fucking thing. So again, to say that it was white people who abolished slavery first is not exactly fucking accurate. It was, in fact, the Indians who did it first. Very, very cool.
Slavery was literally the first ever business. It was humans were the first commodity that were bought and sold, right? Slavery
I've actually never heard of this. Wait, can you expand about that? I've never heard of that.
Well, if you think about it, back in the good old days, you had the chief, all right? He was the guy that was in charge, because you always need a leader. Everyone thinks that you could live in a communist utopia with no leaders, but that's a fairy tale. That cannot be. All right, someone's going to break the law, you're going to need...
What the fuck are you talking about? This is a very idiotic form of how primitive fucking accumulation worked. It's stupid. No, it's just a guy declared that he had the most stuff, and you have to listen to him because he had the most stuff. That's a very baby-brained way of talking about primitive accumulation, but that's just kind of how that works. It's not just some dude just did a thing and you just had to listen to him because you had to listen to him. That's stupid. Very dumb.
Someone with the force to actually stop them from breaking the law. In order to have a society, you need a leader. Now, if you have a leader, then that means you have people that are subservient. If you have people that break the law, you
don't need a leader to have a society. There was communal gatherings of people that didn't necessarily have a fucking leader, and in certain tribal societies that didn't have a village of elders. It was just a collection of people working together as a community. Again, this is what primitive accumulation is. the concept of the use of force was something that was developed later once societies and these proto sort of cities started to develop further and further and get bigger and bigger. It became a necessity to have to need force in order to be able to enforce, violence to be able to enforce. There we go. Other sort of like rising societies and states, I guess for lack of a better term, from basically going along and taking, your shit in like raids and pillaging and yada yada yada.
You could enslave them, right? I have a nice house, and I need that guy, and I need to clean my house, and that guy is a rapist. Well, why kill him if he could clean my house for me, right? And they would sell them. Human beings, before any inventions, all right, where we were selling pots and pans, we were selling people. Slavery is the oldest commodity.
Yeah, what time period was this? Do you know?
Is that even true? Was slavery the first commodity? I'm just curious. Was slavery the first commodity? Slavery was not the first commodity, but it is one of the oldest and most enduring forms of forced labor and trade in human history. Oh, so Nux is fucking lying. Okay, dude. Nice meme.
Well, if you look at the Bible, right, Joseph was sold into slavery, and that was over 3,000 years ago.
I've actually never looked at the start of slavery. That's actually very interesting.
So he's really typing into fucking Grok, what year did slavery start? That is an impossible question to answer. Like, some form of chattel slavery and organized forms of slavery happened probably like tens of thousands of years ago, but it is not the first fucking commodity. It's not the first thing that's been like bought and fucking traded for. Mostly traded for, honestly, because everything used to be a barter economy, and then everything changed when primitive accumulation happened. Currencies started to be developed as society began to take form and shape under kings and with armies behind their backs in order to enforce the advent of society. So again, like, there's not really a quote unquote year where slavery really started. It's not how that works.
Slavery was essentially the first ever human commodity. The idea that it's like a white person thing
it's
is ridiculous.
Not. Job was also sold to slavery, right?
Job, I don't think was sold.
No, I know he got sent to. Shit. There was the story of Job. I read this whole fucking thing. It was awesome.
Joseph was sold into slavery.
So again, I like how they gloss over the fact that Grok is actually correct here. Slavery didn't have a single starting year because it emerged gradually in human societies and predates written history. So we're not really going to know. It likely began as soon as settled agriculture and civilizations created surpluses, hierarchies, and welfare that produced captives who could be forced to work without freedom. And you know what Marx would call that? Primitive accumulation. Whoa. It turns out all the leftists knew about this already. Crazy. The earliest evidence points to ancient Mesopotamia. Makes sense. That is where the earliest societies, broadly speaking, emerged. That and also Egypt and the Mycenaean Greeks. Although the Mycenaean Greeks were a little later, but the earliest civilizations emerged in Mesopotamia and Egypt. And they obviously all practiced some form of slavery. Obviously. And it says around 6,000 to 3,500 BCE. That's a fucking range. But we're not going to really know because we just don't have the data for this. So we're not going to really fucking know.
Then all of the Israelites were the slaves to the Egyptians, and they fought and they freed themselves. But yeah. So, like, slavery is ancient, right? Blaming white people for slavery is insane. It was a commodity that was done by basically every single human culture, every culture.
Again, no one is, like, lefties are not just, quote-unquote, just only blaming white people for slavery. That is an incredibly idiotic goddamn, like, interpretation of, quote-unquote, who did slavery. God, it's... Even fucking Grok is saying that these guys are fucking wrong. Jesus Christ. You don't even have to do that much reading of Marx to understand what primitive accumulation is. Like, it's what it is.
And slaves.
Well, I mean, the problem is that Americans are being taught a augmented version of reality.
I'm sure.
Books aren't written by what happened. Our history books are written by the victors. And it's still, I mean, I remember these textbooks when I was in like 5th, 6th, 7th grade, where it was taught to us that we were the ones who, started all of this shit. So it is kind of, it's
in
scary.
fact, they're still slaves. I mean, Afghanistan recently re-legalized slavery, for example.
Well,
now,
did Afghanistan re-legalize slavery? The fuck? Did Afghanistan re-legalize slavery? We're going to be doing a lot of Googling here. We're not grokking in this place. No, it is not. Okay, cool. Thanks, Nux. Afghanistan has not officially legalized chattel slavery, but the Taliban government faced accusations in January 2026 of legitimizing slavery-like conditions. A new criminal code introduced by the Taliban distinguished slaves from free people, causing international concern amongst broader severe human rights abuses against women and girls. So, no. They did not reintroduce fucking chattel slavery into their fucking laws, but there are slave-like conditions. Now, hey, Nux, it's a good point, Boy Meets Mini. Yeah, what about the fucking rich Gulf countries? It's called the kafala system, but you're not going to give a shit about that. What about the 13th fucking amendment, which essentially stipulates that prisoners are still effectively slaves? Effectively. That they, like, because if I recall, I don't remember exactly how it's written in the 13th Amendment, but it says that all forms of chattel slavery are abolished within the United States of America, except if they are in prison. Obviously, the language is a little more different than that, but a very TLDR version of it is that America still effectively has slaves if you're in prison.
Afghanistan
Yeah.
legalized slavery. I haven't heard that either. I know Africa still has slaves. I didn't realize Afghanistan did that as well.
Afghanistan did it, and then they have like these indentured servants, like in Qatar and Dubai, that they bring in from India, and they just basically keep them in giant slave camps to work on their.
Oh, look at that! It says no. Afghanistan has not formally re-legalized chattel slavery. God.
Shit.
So it's January 2026. The Taliban introduced a new criminal procedure code that has been widely criticized by human rights groups for effectively.
You're not gonna read the first sentence there, Tectone? You're not like. You're not gonna read that first sentence there, Tectone? Wonder why you're not reading that first sentence there, Tectone. I'm curious.
Or recognizing slavery through its language and structure. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
And there's it is, yeah, and it's still going on in a lot of
He
different.
didn't even read the first sentence. These people are so fucking dishonest. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, they did do that. Whoa, that's crazy, man. That's wild. They didn't. Technically speaking, these guys were complaining about Americans being illiterate, but these guys are being incredibly illiterate. Nice meme.
In fact, Hasan Piker, everyone's favorite leftist streamer, the dog shocker, you might have heard of him. He recently went to Qatar, right? He went to Qatar for this entire political summit for retards. And the craziest part of it all was he actually was talking to his chat about how immigration is really good in Qatar because most of the work is done by immigrants. The immigrants are slaves.
Wait, no.
What? What is this fucking claim? Can I get a clip? Can we get any fucking evidence, any proof for this fucking claim? Where's the clip? Hasan saying immigration is good in Qatar. Also, it's called the fucking goddamn kafala system. Hasan, so this is an r/fucking destiny, okay? Hasan is apparently in Qatar, a state built by slavery, to attend an internet entrepreneur summit. Okay. Does that mean he supports what's going on in Qatar? Or the kafala system? No, that doesn't really mean anything, and it's from Destiny subreddit, so... Okay. So, he appeared at a fucking goddamn... Okay, so he appeared at a fucking summit in Doha. Popular Twitch streamer Hasan Piker at Web Summit. Because I'm really not fucking finding anything on any of this stuff. Well, Mehdi Hasan also talks about how Qatar is bad for its slavery system. Very, very interesting. Many of your critics could say that racism isn't against Qatar, it's by Qatar, against migrant workers who's dying by their hundreds because Qatari authorities don't value their lives. From my 2015 Al Jazeera report with the Qatari foreign minister. Okay. Are we talking about Mehdi Hasan, or, I mean, they're talking about Hasan Piker. Like, I'm really not seeing anything at all in terms of this fucking claim in this clip. I'm not finding much of anything at all, so... I don't know, random schizophrenia from Nux?
I was shocked. He was using Qatar as his example. It was his example of how immigration is good for society. They
Are we gonna get a clip?
Servants, forced to work. So I was literally at his audience. You know, they're all just like, "Wow, immigration, wow," and it's like, no, not wow. They're not on welfare. Are you kidding me?
No clip? Because this is where you'd have a clip of that. I don't think we're getting a clip, guys. There's just no clip.
Oh, shit.
You're not on welfare, buddy.
That's fucking nuts. Holy
man.
shit. No, I mean, that sounds about right. You made a video on this, surely.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I brought that up.
How long ago was this?
Oh, this was recently. This was like a week or two ago.
Have you ever seen the race map of the United States, or the race map of the globe?
Oh, by the way, like, when I googled this, based on the search results, and this is from the AI overview, based on the search results, there is no evidence of a prominent figure named Hasan stating that immigration is generally good in Qatar. So, and by the way, even in the AI overview, it talks about Mehdi Hasan, Hassan Al-Thwadi, and Rima Hassan. Not even Hasan Piker. Jesus Christ, they can't get their Hassan straight.
They're all the same map.
I know.
They're all the same map.
I know.
It's so sad.
It is.
But it's real,
Like,
right? And you know, acknowledging that it's real is not being racist. That's just being honest.
Yeah, that was one thing, Chad. I'm not sure if you've ever seen this. Look up the race map of the world, and then look up the IQ map of the world, and then overlap them.
All right, well, you know.
Hey, Tectone, could there be any potential reasoning for as to why black people might have lower IQs? Couldn't it be because of Scramble for Africa or anything? Listen, dude, like, I don't know, man. Like, Scramble for Africa, colonialism, broader byproducts of what the Europeans intended to do with colonization of Africa. We're not going to care about that? I don't think we're going to care about that, guys.
There is actually a reason why certain cultures have lower IQs than other cultures, and this is also
I know this
a little bit radicalized.
No, I know this one. This is due to the fact. What was it? It was something involving agriculture.
Yeah, that's an excuse.
Okay, yes.
That's the excuse.
Yeah, so can you explain? Because I was.
That's an excuse. It's called primitive accumulation. Okay, you're getting there, Tectone.
I'm trying to inform myself as much as possible. If you want to explain the agriculture, why will excuse the difference in IQ?
Right, so there are a few excuses. One is that obviously, well, they didn't have tools developed as well, and the agriculture wasn't as good, so therefore they weren't able to take the time to hone their IQs, and like that is a possible.
Hone their Okay, Jesus fucking Christ, man, that's not. Oh man, dude. They don't understand what primitive accumulation is, man. They don't know what it means. They don't understand what it means. God.
Sure.
I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah.
But there's also a very real other explanation that's undeniably true.
Okay.
Do you want to look up the percent of people in Pakistan that are inbred?
I've actually never even considered this. Yeah, the agriculture.
So this is the same fucking shit that fucking not Hassan, that Asmongold also says, saying that IQ has something to do with inbreeding. It's like, okay, if that were the case, then there would be a lot of European fucking aristocrats who'd be extremely fucking low IQ in No, it's just a byproduct of environment. Like, that's literally it. The Flynn effect describes this perfectly. They don't know about the fucking Flynn effect, do they? They don't know about it.
Made sense to me. If you don't need to rise to the occasion, then you'll never learn. And if you never have to learn, then you'll kind of be stuck in your ways.
That's fucking hilarious coming from these two, I don't know, individuals talking about rising to the occasion. I don't know, you rose to the occasion of basically abusing your fucking ex-girlfriend to the degree that she got a fucking protective order for you on you, and also NuxTaku rose to the occasion of being a nexus point of the distribution of fucking hentai to minors. But okay, bro, nice meme.
How high?
So that is true, but IQ is also genetic.
For sure.
Right? Like, if your parents are smart, chances are you will be smart. Now,
So, no, that's not. That's the same shit that the bell curve and Richard Lynn, again, also fucking claims. And the same shit said in the Asmongold sort of fucking goddamn... It's said in the fucking video. No. There is zero evidence to claim whatsoever that IQ has a heritability... is heritable whatsoever in the next of kin. No. Again, I'm going to bring up the Flynn effect. The Flynn effect, okay, follow along with me. The Flynn effect did studies on the raises of people's fucking IQ over a whole multitude of fucking years. In fact, let me get the fucking graphs on this specifically. Okay, Nux, time for a little bit of education and looking at a fucking graph. This is a demonstration of something known as, again, something I've been bringing up consistently, the Flynn effect. If IQ was something that raised genetically, you would not be seeing such a stark jump in terms of a number like this. It would be going much, much slower. Oh. So, again, why did IQ have such a massive raise like this? Throughout the period of time when this started to be recorded, around the 1900s to, of course, the latter part of about the mid-2010s. Because of an improvement of education, quality of food, and the general sort of environment that people were being brought up in. The introduction of public education within Europe had a massive effect on the raising of people's fucking IQs. Like, that's just a fact. Do any of these dumbasses know about that? No, they don't.
If you
1% inbred?
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, again, it's a little radicalizing, isn't it? So now the craziest thing is, let's say hypothetically you have two cousins that decide to get married. The chances of your child, of these cousins' child being mentally stunted in some way.
Well, I'm just a little curious. What exactly? Key estimates from reliable sources. Okay, key estimates, by the way. Pakistan demographic and health survey. Around 61.2% of marriages are consanguineous, including first and second cousins. Isn't that like, it's just like an old cultural practice, if I believe Boy Meets Spinning, and that's the reason why, right? Probably a bunch of weird hangers on of the caste system, yeah. Yeah, in rural areas. Oh, it's also in fucking rural areas. Interesting. We're not gonna be talking about the rural areas, are we? Where are going to have less parts of the population? Whatever. PDHS and related studies analyzed. Rates have been around 63 to 65%. Okay. With some sources noting a slight decline from that to that. Blah, 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 blah. Trends and variations. Decline in younger generations. More educated, urban, and financially independent Pakistanis show lower rates with awareness of genetic risks. Of course, a bunch of bullshit. Who cares about the genetic risks? Regional differences. Rural areas often exceed 65 to 70%, while some isolated groups, e.g. Chitral, report much lower rates, approximately 12%. So it's because, again, majority rural population, inbreeding is more likely to fucking happen as a byproduct of, it's because it's a rural fucking population, and they have backwards fucking cultural practices. Doi. But they're going to generalize and say that's the whole country. Stupid.
Much higher. It's about 3 times higher to get birth defects. The chances of being violent increases dramatically because they're inbred, right? It's a bad thing. I would, right?
Yeah.
And IQ dips. Now, what if I told you that Mohammed, please be upon him, was, he married one of his cousins. So it is a very big culture in a lot of Islamic countries where they marry their cousins. So in Pakistan, for example, where over 60% of the people are inbred, this is after 1,400 years of inbreeding too. Like, they've been inbreeding for 1,400 years.
Yeah, so the average inbred percent of the United
States... I don't think that's really relevant to this whatsoever, but okay, whatever, dude.
States is 0.1 to 0.2%.
Right. So, people make fun of Alabama.
That's what I was thinking.
For incest,
I
right?
think it'd be way higher.
It's all projection. It's all projection. All right. You make fun of Alabama. All right, and it's 0.1% inbred. And then you look at Pakistan where it's 65.
Well, didn't it say it's 0.1%? Okay, that's talking about the entirety of the United States of America, Nux, not just specifically Alabama. Okay, why don't we fucking take a look? I'm not anticipating it to be that high within Alabama, but why don't we take a look? Alabama law strictly prohibits marriage and sexual relationships between close relatives, including parents, children, siblings, grandparents, grandchildren, aunts, uncles, nieces, and nephews, classifying such actions as criminal sexual assault. These, regulations are designed to prevent legal and health issues associated with incestuous relationships. Oh, and it's because of a song called Sweet Home Alabama. That's why. Yeah. And it's because incest is, broadly speaking, a trait. Not a trait, that's not correct to say. But is broadly speaking something that is sort of associated with small rural towns and places, which... Again, the South is small, mostly towns, and is very fucking rural.
percent inbred. 60 to 65%, and it's diabolical. Now, if you want to know something that's truly terrifying, because I'm bringing this all back to immigration,
Okay.
look up the percent of Pakistanis in the United Kingdom that are inbred.
Okay, percent of Pakistanis in United Kingdom.
Because there's now about 7% of England is Pakistani. 7%.
Yeah, I believe it was what 56 million population in 2020 to now 74 million in 2026, and I believe the British population was 97% 60 years ago, and now it's 35.2% as of 2026. So there's a lot of immigrants.
What the fuck are you talking about, bro? The massive wave of migration that happened was because of the Syrian refugee crisis, which the British took the less amount of fucking... Okay, the least amount of fucking refugees of Assyrian descent. Like, what are we talking about here? This is nonsense.
A lot of them migrated to Britain over the years. It looks like 40 to 60% of British Pakistanis.
So it seems like, right? So, and we saw that in Pakistan itself, it's 60%, and here it's 40 to 60%.
Yeah.
Right? So essentially, they're not really assimilating into culture, you know, because they're literally fucking their cousins.
Yes.
There's no evidence to suggest they're fucking not assimilating into fucking cultures based off of random fucking goddamn studies here by the British fucking pocket. It's stupid. Again, I don't know how many times this has to be said to these fucking morons. Pakistan used to be a part of the British Raj for the latter part of about 150 goddamn years. So if anything, it's about as fucking British culture as it fucking gets, dumbass.
Right, so this is aside from like potential rape gangs and stuff like that, which I don't want to get into.
On this episode.
This is insane.
Yeah.
This is insane.
No,
like, we should not be importing people into our countries that are not willing to integrate into our societies. And they're doing the opposite of integrating into our societies.
I'm from the 11th largest city in India. I don't know anyone who married their fucking cousin. It's because it's just these dumbasses are fucking racist. Like, are these, again, it depends. Are these Pakistani people that are living in England a part of the lower strata of society? We don't know that exactly. Are these, again, Pakistanis who are living within fucking cities? We don't fucking know that. We have no fucking idea. This is just based off of random fucking goddamn studies Grok is basically repeating back at them. It's stupid.
Societies. They're quite literally only integrating with their cousins.
Yeah, you ever played that game?
So,
what's it called? Was it called? Yeah, we talked about this game the other day. It was called. You ever played that game where you have like this virus and you have to spread it to different countries, and once you spread it around the entire world, you win? You know what game I'm talking about?
Plague?
That was COVID.
Plague Inc. Yeah, COVID. You ever play Plague Inc.?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's kind of like they send in these immigrants to these other countries, and then all these other countries, or these immigrants that come in, they have 12 kids before we have one kid, and then it just like slowly starts to swarm and overtake them. I can't believe.
What the fuck is this, like, schizophrenic bullshit? He's trying to gamify the Great Replacement Theory or something? Yeah, man, that's exactly why every fucking immigrant decides to move over to a lot of these richer Western fucking goddamn countries. Because it's a simulation of the game Plague Inc. This is fucking nonsensical.
Believe what the United Kingdom looks like right now, man. I honestly cannot believe. Like, the streets of the United Kingdom are fucking crazy.
Look up.
Like, in what way? Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Like, what is being talked about here exactly? Yeah, I don't think these guys have ever been to the UK. Yeah, there's certain parts and enclaves within London that have a bunch of, like, Pakistani immigrants, but that's because it's a massive city, and that's how these cities have been fucking organized. Again, stupid. It's stupid.
How many rapes happen in London? Not all the United Kingdom, just London, per hour, on average.
This is gonna make me really sad. I'm not gonna lie. This one's gonna bum me the fuck out. If it's really that high. Rapes in London per hour. Like, that's a fucking crazy ass shit to even Google. Wait, what? Hold up. There's a rape every hour?
Every 54 minutes, there's a rape in London.
That's fucking insane.
Okay, why don't we fucking take a look at that as well? Yes, Jimmy the Giant would probably dismantle these losers as well. Okay, let's fucking take a look. Is there a rape hour in England? Also, the Grok depiction right here, for example, is talking about the most recent available data on reported rapes in London. So that's one city, not the entirety of the country like these dumbasses are saying, but they can't read. Covering the Metropolitan Police Area, which serves Greater London, points to 9,744 police-recorded rape offenses in the calendar year of 2025. So that is about 9,800 rapes in one fucking year. Okay. This figure has been widely cited in early 2026 reports, social media, and news summaries attributed to Metropolitan Police data. And then, obviously, that's how you get the one rape an hour. Roughly one every fucking 54 minutes. This is an average based on reported offenses only. Actual incidents are likely higher. That's not false, as many rapes go unreported. UK-wide estimates like sources... estimates from sources like Rape Crisis suggest only a fraction are reported to the police. For comparison, in 2023, around 8,800 reported rapes, about one every hour or 24 per day, per a 2024 BBC investigation using Met Police FOI data. Also, like, we have to talk about like these sort of circumstances for as to how this works exactly in terms of the rapes, because a lot of rapes are going to be because of domestic violence situations. Generally speaking, that's how it happens, right? Rape report. This is a report from the BBC. Rape reported every hour in London. A rape offense is reported every hour in London, according to data obtained from the BBC. More than 8,800. Charities have called the findings horrifying, maybe far higher. That's probably true. Other sexual violence, rape cases, which has been a increase, but from 2020, okay, and it was going up in 2021. Looking at this graph here from the BBC, but it seems to be slowly going down. So pull up the graph here real quick. So there was an increase because of, again, this was during COVID. Everyone was inside, possibly from a bunch of abusive fucking situations, right? Because there were a bunch of probably abusive households where people had to deal with sexual violence and probably rape. But it's going down. Now, this could be attributed to a bunch of differing things, right? Because of COVID being over, people being able to leave the house more and more. This could also be the byproduct of... maybe like improving material conditions, as a, you know, because of COVID eventually just like being done with, generally speaking. Yeah, let's say like being done with and the country reopening. So it's a thing that's probably being, broadly speaking, worked on. Not to like defend anybody, but these guys are saying that, again, the immigrants are the ones who are primarily doing the rapes, right? That's what Nux is essentially saying here with this claim. He is saying that it is primarily immigrants who are doing all the rape. We have no evidence to suggest that that is the case, right? No evidence whatsoever. This is, again, not an immigration issue. This is a gender issue.
And it turns out a lot of it is from, you know how like, you know, people in America do like the 13% of ninjas do about 50% of the black magic or whatever the joke is?
Yeah,
right? You know
the dark
joke?
wizards. Yeah.
The Dark Wizards, of course.
Yeah.
So in England,
Yeah, 1350,
of the population does 70% of the raping.
Shut the fuck up. No way. That's crazy.
And the reality
is that true? England, 7% of the population, because again, all these like weirdos have to do the same bullshit as Americans do. Do 70% of the rapes. Sure, whatever. No, they're wrong. Based on available data from the Office for National Statistics and police reports in England and Wales, there is no evidence to suggest to support the claim that 7% of the population commits 70% of the rapes. So, no. Nux is lying here.
If in different cultures, rape was not necessarily viewed as such a bad thing.
Oh, because it's not. Yeah, I've actually heard.
Actually, now from what I'm seeing from a Guardian report here, nearly 70% of rape victims drop out of investigations in England and Wales. Now, that has nothing to do with, I think, 7% of the population, I'm assuming, is probably Pakistanis, I guess, within England. So is that where they're getting the 70% number from? I have no idea.
It's been a bad thing in certain countries.
Well, in Somalia, for example, rape was legal 6 years ago. Not just like not a bad thing, legal. It wasn't criminalized at all.
What?
6 years ago.
Okay, I've never heard this either. Hold up. Let me just.
When was rape illegal?
Yeah.
All right.
I've never heard of this. which I really feel like I would have because my TikTok or my Instagram.
That is a very good point there, Boy Meets Mini. Again, NuxTaku is doing the classic thing of every fucking dumbass, racist-ass right-winger and alt-right nationalist. They are operating off of a conclusion and coming up with statistics and random bullshit in order to justify that conclusion.
Crazy.
Look, man, we need a little more.
No, rape has never fully been legal in Somalia. Now, is Tectone going to read this? Probably not. In the sense of being permitted or unregulated by law. It has been criminalized under the country's legal framework for decades, though the laws are outdated, narrowly defined, poorly enforced, and often inadequate by international standards. Oh, so again, the reason why there's probably a lot of rape happening within Somalia is more than likely because of the fact that there's a civil war that's still going on in the fucking country. And the country is still, not civically fucking developed because of the government fucking collapsing. Oh, shocker.
Racism on mainstream to like actually understand what's going on in the world.
Okay, let me see this.
Notice how fucking Tectone doesn't even read the first sentence of the fucking goddamn question he's asking. Fucking hilarious.
Right, so current legal status, it's illegal. About 6 years ago, I think. Like 2019, maybe.
Was rape legal in Somalia in the
Yeah, I think it's... Right there, it says, there was a progressive Rape and Sexual Offense Act in 2018 that criminalized rape. It's right there on your previous
Hold
thing.
on. Let me see if this one makes it easier. It's criminalized, key details, narrow details, Puntland, and accidental effect. I'm trying to find this work. Enforcement reality. Laws were poorly enforced due to conflict. Rape was illegal through the framework of colonial era 1992, limited consenting right in many aspects, and rarely applied effectively amid Somalia's instability. Reforms, regional law 2016-2018.
By the way, it doesn't say, this is nothing about it being progressive, it's just the term reform. So again, stupid. Also, in the British Raj SA/CSA was done by white British officers. Yeah, like, I know, Boy Meets Mini. Like, colonialism. It's very stupid.
Federal bill began addressing gaps, but full modernization didn't happen there. The mirrors broader human rights challenges rather than any policy permitting. I'm trying to find anything that can confirm that.
Because it's not true. Nux just pulled the random fucking thing out of his ass. He saw the word reform, thought it meant fucking progressivism. Because he's an idiot.
If you scroll up to your previous one,
okay.
And look at there where it says 2018.
2018. Let me control F. Okay. This is some people inbred. Regional variation.
Just run a delay. So.
This is right here. Somalian, self-declared independent, not organized internationally, passed a progressive rape and sexual offenses act in 2018. First in Somali history.
That's not Somalia, Nux. That's Somaliland, the self-declared independent, not recognized international entity. He mixed up Somalia with Somaliland. Idiot.
Criminalizing rape. Oh my god. Wait, so they only criminalized it in 2018?
Yeah. So
Somaliland is not an official country, you fucking morons. That's Somaliland, not Somalia. You know, these guys were constantly fucking complaining about Americans being illiterate. I think we found some illiterate Americans.
Well, again, if you're importing people from a country where rape wasn't criminalized, like, do we really think that they're not going to rape? In fact,
no, because it's how they're taught.
In fact, there was recently a situation where Somalia...
No, in fact, they are actually less likely to rape because they're going to follow the laws and the customs of the land that they're fucking living in. Nux, you fucking moron.
The immigrant raped a kid in, I'm pretty sure it was in Minnesota, and they arrested the guy, obviously. And the entire Somali community came together to release a letter to the government saying that he's actually like a really super good guy. See, if I knew a guy that raped a kid, I would not be writing letters defending the guy, personally. Because I wouldn't think he was a very good guy.
Why do I have a feeling that Nux, because he's been lying about literally everything, is probably also lying about this?
Yeah, you think.
Just a quick feeling.
That's fucking insane. Well, I mean, to be honest, the world doesn't shock me anymore, man. I mean, after all, Chibi Review's friend group picked the other guy who fucked his wife because he was better at Marvel Rivals. So, you know, I mean, human beings shock me every single fucking day. No, I mean,
Sounds like fucking copium to me. Maybe he should have just, I don't know, not been as good at Marvel Rivals. Like, is that the reason why his friend group fucking split? I highly doubt that's probably the reason why his friend group fucking split from him. Stupid.
True.
And because of these like layers and layers of honestly,
that's true, Boy Meets Mini.
Social manipulation and emotional blackmailing, because that's essentially what's going on. To convince you not to even talk about this, right? Like they say that if you say that some cultures are inferior, that makes you a racist, right? You're not allowed to discuss this, right? White people are bad.
No, you fucking Literally, you didn't even read that it was Somaliland and not Somalia in the fucking goddamn AI overview that you're trying to get your statistics from, you stupid motherfucker. This is actually fucking incredible. People are saying you're racist because you can't even do the basic modicum of fucking research. And that's why people claim you're racist, because you're saying a bunch of racist shit and are looking up statistics to try to support your fucking narrative when they don't exist. That's why you're racist, because you're behaving like a racist.
Because of slaves and stuff like you watch like Netflix, and the UK recently released a Netflix show about how there's this one dude who watched Andrew Tate and became a racist, and he's like a white kid, and the entire like British right-wing community lost.
Isn't that fucking Adolescence movie or something? I don't exactly know anything about that. Who the fuck cares? It's stupid. These people are. No, it's because you guys are operating backwards from a conclusion and are just wrong. That's why people think you're racist.
Mind, because quite literally, it's not Andrew Tate that's causing white kids to rape people. That's not the main issue in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And they keep trying so hard to push this fake narrative. Quite literally.
Well, I mean, white people have been experiencing white guilt for probably like centuries at this point. Everybody likes to call.
All right. Well, it makes sense that you say centuries because you thought that World War II was centuries ago. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What? Yeah, man. People feel white guilt because of World War II. What are you fucking saying? What the hell? Hello? What are you talking about? Okay, bro. Yeah, man. People feel white guilt because of what Hitler did or something. Like, what does that even mean?
I really think that if I had to like just say where I think this started, I think this started after World War II.
Where... Same brain, there it is. Yep, 1939 through 1945, because now everybody's afraid of being called a Nazi.
That's right, and essentially
that's not where white guilt fucking started. Okay. Jesus Christ. I'm not even gonna dig into the Andrew Tate shit that they were fucking saying, because it's just wrong and it's fucking stupid. Like, yeah, man, British white boys are feeling guilty from being, I don't know, fed a bunch of misogynistic bullshit from fucking Andrew Tate because he went very viral on social media. It's stupid. It's nonsensical. We're moving on.
I think it was like, Hitler was a white guy. We all need to cuck ourselves forever.
Yep.
No one fucking thinks like this, dumbass.
I'm gonna prove that I'm anti-racist by importing infinite rapists into my country.
Domain expansion, infinite rapists.
That's really funny coming from, again, I'm going to reiterate this point constantly. Nux is a dude who unironically helped to facilitate, and I'm going to say this again, facilitate an environment where children were more likely to be fucking groomed, okay? Let's get that out of the way immediately. Was more likely to also, or in Tectone, rather, has a protective order right now from his ex, Pinky Chew, who claims that he did a bunch of stalking and fucking sexual assault that a judge fucking granted on him. Stupid.
True, bro.
Like curse technique. So look at how good of a person I am. Yeah, no, it's crazy. What are your thoughts on Hitler, man?
Well, I thought he was honestly a massive failure. In general, like if you look at what he did, he cucked all of white people. All right, let's be real, he did that. He did destroyed Germany.
Pretty hard. He did cuck.
You know, at least Nux has the wherewithal of saying Hitler's bad. Good job, Nux. You cleared a very, very low bar.
That's pretty hard.
Yeah, he cucked all of white people. He destroyed Germany. He killed millions of Jews and gypsies, he started a war.
You'd say millions?
I would say millions, yeah.
I've heard a different number, but maybe that's for another topic.
Yeah, we could do a holocaust.
Is tech? Jesus Christ! I guess you know. I've done the meme before, but honestly, Sophia, you need to get the fuck out of that marriage, okay? Because you may have married someone who's willing to do Holocaust denial and revisionism for clicks on the internet.
Holocaust debate at some point. I'm totally good with that. But this is America. This is America.
Yeah. I know, this is America, man. Yeah. Fuck, no, dude, the whole fucking my Instagram feed is so cooked, bro. Like, it's so bad, bro. It's so bad. Like, hearing the Hitler debates is kind of it's just very interesting to me, man. I would love to talk about that more often at a later date.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Oh boy.
I feel like you're kind of biased, though.
I am biased. My grandparents' entire families were all killed. So yeah.
I feel like maybe you don't like the guy.
Oh, I wonder why. Yeah, crazy. Whoa, Nux might not be a big fan of Hitler. It's crazy, dude. Whoa, shocker. And here's Tectone saying like, "Oh yeah, I might have heard some different numbers. I don't know. Like, I've heard some other stuff. Like, okay, bro, Jesus Christ."
Hitler, yeah, no, he was a pretty bad guy from my perspective. But then again, once again, biased. I will admittedly biased.
Guys, I'll say it too.
I think it might be. I don't know, guys. Call me a libcuck, super wokey lefty type or whatever the fuck. I think it might be I think it might be a good thing to have biases against Hitler.
I think Hitler was a pretty bad guy.
Wow, controversial.
I mean, this is coming from brother. You were trying to do unironic fucking Holocaust revisionism just like 3 seconds ago. Okay, whatever.
I'm very brave. Yo, Andrew.
But Hitler.
Legal Mindset, what up, dog? Good to see you, man. Sorry, Legal Mindset's a I love that guy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, same. Hitler did not shock his dog.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Do you think he would have? Man, imagine Hitler as a live streamer.
Bro, Hitler loved his dog.
I'm actually curious.
Dude, Hasan,
a little bit of research into this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know the books that they burned?
Yeah.
Yeah, were those about being transgender?
A lot of them were, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to make sure.
Some of them were, yes. Again, Magnus Hirschfeld's books talked about trans surgeries. It talked about being queer in general. There was a bunch of differing topics that were covered within Magnus Hirschfeld's books. So again, we're gonna get some probably bullshit here about Magnus Hirschfeld if I were to take a guess.
Trying to get conspiracy build. That's also what I found as well. It's actually very interesting. Yeah, but no, I do.
So, Nazism was really about that there was a lot of, like, they said that, it's a superior race and other races were degenerate. And that included, Jews and gypsies, and also included gays and transgenders. And
Slavs.
They went to war, they lost, and they destroyed Europe.
Kind of a big L, low key.
It was a big L.
Yeah, Hitler lost hella aura during all that shit, bro.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Allegedly killed himself.
Allegedly. That being said, it is kind of fucked up, man, because now I can never rock his mustache, You do that little square, you can never do it because
dude, that guy ruined the mustache.
I know. No, it was
he ruined the Charlie Chaplin, guys. It's over.
Big L, bro. Big L.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Dude, he ruined Germany, white culture, and that mustache.
I know, bro. It's just fucked up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He also ruined the first name Adolf, to be honest.
Which is also a great name. What was I gonna say?
This is so fucking weird, man. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I don't know, man. And people wonder why, like, most people fucking hate streamers. This is broadly speaking why. The childlike fucking engagement that's going on here with these very complex historical topics is ridiculous. I'm not gonna get over the fact that fucking nuts thought that Somalia and Somaliland were the fucking same thing.
Who do you think, off the top of your head, like the 5 worst human beings in history are, like of every era?
All right, they're gonna say Hasan.
I have no idea. There were a lot of human beings, and there were a lot of really bad ones.
Would Hitler be your number 1 as a worst human being?
So I guess it depends how you define bad, right? It depends how you define evil.
The person who's
I wonder why these guys are saying Mao first and not Hitler. Because I wonder why.
The amount of casualties that he did, or someone that inherently was a really, really bad guy, because he disgraced God. Like, how do you define evil? Like, again, Mao, Stalin, Hitler, they were all bad. Their casualties were in the millions. And so, just sheer numbers-wise, I don't think anyone was as evil as those guys. But as far as, like, small acts that could be considered unbelievably evil, against God, let's say, I would argue, people like, in biblical times that, like, there was this one king, Manasseh, that he had sex with his mother. Not because he liked it, but because he wanted to spite God. That's pretty evil. Like,
so,
no, he didn't
sure,
kill
man.
60 million people like Stalin, but that's pretty evil.
Grok is telling me that there's some guy. I feel like if I read this name, I'm gonna lose a lot of Chinese sponsors.
It's Mao Zedong.
Yeah, probably.
I don't want to lose any sponsors. I really don't want to lose any. I already have 0, bro. I can't afford to lose.
So actually, if you really wanted to freak out, Hasan Piker.
I wonder why people might not want to sponsor you, Tectone. Gonna be because of a funny little protective order that's currently on your name.
Cosplayed as that guy during the Streamer Awards because he's such a fan of communism.
Wait, Hasan Piker
he cosplayed against one of the worst guys ever. Yeah.
Did Hasan?
Okay, he wore. Okay, that's not cosplaying as Mao. He wore garb that Mao wore before. I don't know what the. Boy Meets Minnie, do you know what the name of the fucking garb is? I'm really bad with names. You know how it is. He just didn't cosplay as Mao. It's just something that a bunch of Chinese officials have worn before. Like, okay, dude, that's stupid.
Cosplay as Mao.
Dude, you don't need to Grok this. Just look it up. Come on, man. You're gonna let Grok decide? It's gonna be like, well, actually, it was a traditional Chinese thing.
What is my name? The problem is, I don't want to look at the streamer awards, man. I don't want to see that one. I'm good. I believe it though. Yeah, no, I'm actually aware of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and you know, like
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
In China, and he was
Zhang Xuan, Zhang Shan, dyslexia. Zhang Shan suit. There we go. We got there eventually. So, just because Mao wore it or something, like that means, I don't know, Hasan is cosplaying as Mao or something. Yeah, very stupid. It's kind of like how Indian politicians wear Nehru collars. Oh, so it's just it's a garb that a bunch of politicians and officials basically wear, right? Like, yeah, he wore something that Chinese officials wear during the People's Republic of China. Okay, whatever. It's stupid.
like soying out. It's like, whoa,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I heard about that as well. Out of curiosity, do you still get sponsors?
Yeah.
Damn. Really?
Yeah. I need to submit one actually today. Yeah.
Wait, hook the brother up. What the hell?
I don't believe him.
Absolutely, I got you.
Oh.
My sponsor guys are Jews now, so it's diabolical.
Yeah, yo, hook a brother up, man. I love the Jews. I love the Jews.
I mean, you just condemned Hitler, so this is great.
Yep, hey, yeah, I think Hitler
This
was
is huge.
bad. Yep, Jews, good people. Yes, sir. What did you think about Andrew Tate
Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
and all them playing the song?
Oh my god.
clips?
So I'm actually glad you asked, because I have a very nuanced opinion.
Okay.
I believe
All right, we're gonna get the Kanye West song bit, I guess now.
in the First Amendment, freedom of speech, they had every right to play the Hail Hitler song, and the people in the clubs also had the First Amendment and had every right to ban them from the clubs. All right,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Sure.
Of it. I think it's funny, all in all. And the fact that they all crashed out that they got banned is hilarious, because they had the right to play it, they had the right to ban them. It was just a really funny situation.
What do you think of the song?
Sure. Okay. I don't know. There's nothing really there to disagree with. Sure, man. That's fine. Good job. You had I don't even know if it's correct to say principled free speech stance. Sure, man. Whatever.
It's a bit of a banger. Not gonna lie. Like, I understand the comedy. It's a bit of a banger.
Hey, low-key, low-catchy, bro.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, that fucking song is bad for a lot of different reasons, but it's mostly just Kanye complaining about his fucking divorce. That's what the Heil song was about. It was about Kanye complaining about his divorce. That's what he was complaining about mostly.
Yeah.
Do you sing along?
To some of it.
Okay.
Yeah, in my opinion, the worst part of the song is when Kanye's admitting to being a cuck and shit, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, that's the only part
Whatever.
that you skip. That's the only part that you skip.
That's the bad part. I can't.
Can't be a cuck, bro, but the rest of the shit, I'm not really in there.
The cuck part's too far. It's too far.
Yeah, man.
Okay, bro.
Cuckoldry is really becoming a lot more widely accepted. It's making me fucking disgusted. It's the same thing. Have you seen that TED talk about that one chick trying to humanize and rationalize pedophilia?
No, what?
Yeah, there's a TED talk saying that like pedophiles are people too, and they can't help it. They're just born this way.
Oh, TED Talk. Oh,
Yeah.
this is. Oh, did you ever hear of NAMBLA?
No.
Look up NAMBLA. NAMBLA. Look up.
I don't remember. Okay, I think I know what TED Talk they're talking about. Didn't TED Talk basically like disavow that talk or something? I don't remember 100% what the position was, but okay. The position here is relatively simple. If you want there to be less child sexual abuse, okay, if that's what you want there to be less pedophilia in the world, then you would want pedophiles in order to go seek therapy. I think people can, broadly speaking, agree with that. You know, you want people to go seek therapy in order to get them to stop raping kids. Obviously, okay? Very, very simple and easy. Another thing that also significantly reduces instances of CSA is education, child sexual education to be specific. Because if a kid knows the abuse that they're going through, they are more likely to report that to authority figures, and then they can get the help that they need, right? That's how it works. But guess who decided to go after child sexual education? It was Nancy Reagan. It was first wife of Ronald Reagan. Yeah. Or the first lady of the United States under Ronald Reagan. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
NAMBLA.
What is NAMBLA? I know what MAP is, but I don't know what fucking NAMBLA is.
Whew, NAMBLA was an entire
NAMBLA?
movement.
North America. What the fuck? North
was a
American
gigantic-
Boy Love Association?
That's right. It advocates for pedophilia. It is a pedophilia
What
advocacy
the
group.
fuck? Hold
Yup,
up.
they were like, well, actually, it's just a sexuality, just like anything else.
Dude, that's the problem. Is that I feel so fucking passionately about this. I hate when people say, "Oh, I was born this way. I can't change it." Well, I'm sorry, bro. When it comes to the safety of children, you're gonna have to get the fuck over it. I find it insane how 99.9% of mental illnesses people will tell you to not listen to, but there's a very select one that people tell you, "Oh yeah, no, listen to it. Cut off your penis."
Wait, okay. Okay, holy shit, Jesus Christ. Okay, first off, this is coming from the dude who, during his fucking court testimony, said that he was a diagnosed, unmedicated fucking schizophrenic. Okay, that's cool. Now he's gonna, like, lump in his, like, 3 IQ transphobia into all of this because, again, Tectone is a grifter. He doesn't believe anything. A self-admitted grifter, keep in mind, who said that, I have to, in order to maintain relevance in the streamer space, I have to start grifting. Yeah, that's how it works, guys. You gotta grift. So there's that. I'm trying to think, like, who exactly amongst anyone is, like, advocating for fucking NAMBLA? Like, I don't know, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is very, very silly. Like I said before, if you want there to be reductions in CSA and child sexual abuse, okay, what do you have to do? You got to get these guys into fucking therapy, right? Now, the argument that quote unquote MAPS would make, that the people advocating for calling people who do CSA MAPS, is to try to destigmatize the term pedophilia so then they are more comfortable with wanting to go out to get therapy. Because they may not want to go get therapy to take care of their fucking mental illness. Because sometimes, with a lot of the time, it is just a mental fucking illness. When it comes to pedophilia, that they have to go out and get fucking therapy in order to fucking fix the issue. If we actually care about addressing the problem. But here's the thing with these two dumbasses. They don't actually care about addressing the problem, but that's a different story. If we care about dealing with this issue, then you should be for, getting these people help and fucking therapy, which is what the MAP argument is basically supposed to do. Is it an effective argument? That's a different fucking question. Like, I can't really say for certain. I don't know how many people have gone to get therapy as a byproduct of this. But what we can say for certain is, if you're a fucking, if you're a dude who wants to abuse kids, go get some fucking therapy.
Right now, I think it's fucking insane, bro. Now, once again,
well, if you want my stance on it, I think that this is an offshoot of feminism. All right, so there
of course.
No, we can't talk about feminism yet. We're saving it for the next episode.
All right, we're saving it for the next episode. All right, fine. Yes, but yeah, no, anyway.
I don't know, like, the idea that this is an offshoot of fucking feminism is so fucking low IQ that who even know, like, how do you even fucking begin to think about engaging with that? It's just fucking stupid.
We have just affirmed people's mental illnesses now or something, because it's like there's a difference between being kind and being nice. Being kind is when you do the right thing for somebody, and being nice is just like saying, yes, of course.
Yeah, dude. The whole idea, like, telling this shit to, what was it, 96%?
I don't think that's exactly how that works, but okay, dude. Like, I'm not expecting really anything in terms of the intelligence and consistency of definitions from NuxTaku, the exact same dude who, I'm going to reiterate this point over and over and over again, helped to more easily facilitate an environment where children are more likely to be able to get groomed in his private Discord server.
Of Netflix Kids has, like, pro-transgender topics discussed in all the Netflix Kids shows.
Well,
it's like,
well, if you think about it, if there's a culture that prioritizes castrating children and not getting married and aborting your babies, then how do they breed?
They don't.
What the fuck are you schizophrenics fucking talking about? Yeah, man, Western society, like, is broadly speaking advocating for transgender for everybody, and is broadly speaking talking about people not engaging with society, not having fucking kids, and getting abortions. I don't know how many times this has to be said to these motherfuckers. If you want to have kids, you need money to have kids, and people don't have money to have kids in order to be able to go out and try to have fucking kids. It's fucking stupid, Boy Meets Mini. Like, these guys are trying to make the argument that NAMBLA is a byproduct of fucking feminism, and it is the idea that people are being inclusive of everything. It's stupid, it's fucking ridiculous, but then again, we're talking about Tectone and NuxTaku, one of whom raped his fucking ex-girlfriend, and the other facilitated an environment where it was more easier for minors to get groomed.
Through grooming, they're vampires.
Oh, yeah, true grooming, yeah. Yeah, no, it's just bad, bro. Because like, if you're 18 and up, do whatever the fuck you want. But when it comes to the safety of children and putting that shit into child's minds at such an early age, it's like, dude, when I was a little kid, I thought I was fucking Goku. Okay, I was convinced that I could go into the bathroom and I was convinced that I could do the fucking Kamehameha. If you were telling every children, oh, if you think you're a dog, you are a dog. Oh, if you think you're a girl, it's not because you just like girl things. Or if you think that you're a boy, it's not just because you're a tomboy. It means
Yeah, because that's totally a thing that's going on, you fucking moron. Stupid.
you actually are the other thing. It's like, why are we telling kids this?
No one is telling fucking kids that they are inherently trans or not. This is fucking stupid. You are an idiot if you fucking think this. Nobody is saying this. The position of trans affirmatory sort of care is rather fucking simple, okay? It basically says, hey, if you fucking think that you're trans, there are steps and processes basically involved in order to be able to see if you are trans or not, okay? You go on fucking puberty blockers and you begin to socially transition. Puberty blockers are reversible. You're just going to be experiencing puberty much faster than normal. That's how puberty blockers work. But does Nux and Tectone know about any of that stuff? No.
All of this.
I'm gonna go a step further. All right.
Sure, go ahead.
And this is something I thought a lot about. Like, there's a part of me that
Oh,
wants
you
to say,
think?
look, if you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't affect me. It's not my business. However, I believe that it does affect me because I think it does go downstream, and I think that once we're you know, telling adults, oh, you could cut your penis off and publicly run around and cross-dressing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think once we're already normalizing it to such a crazy degree, I think it does go downstream, and I think it does affect everything.
That's fucking one of the most mentally ill fucking positions I have ever heard in my fucking life. No, that's not how any of this works. But then again, Nux is not very fucking intelligent.
Personally, I'm against the idea of transgender surgery even for adults. Personally, that's my take. I know that it's
Of course you would be.
Disagree. I personally believe so. Like, for example, if you had an 18-year-old and he was like, I identify as future Gohan that lost an arm, and therefore he goes into the hospital and says, I identify as future Gohan that lost an arm. I want you to cut my arm off. He's an adult. He's consenting.
Yes.
Should the doctor listen to him and cut his arm off to affirm his identity?
Fuck no.
So, from my perspective,
Nobody fucking is doing that, man. Because that's really fucking stupid. This is a... Jesus Christ, man. This is a really fucking stupid example. Holy shit.
that's the same idea.
Yeah.
Right? It's a mental illness, and I feel terrible for them. I don't hate trans people. I don't. I pity them. I pity them.
Oh, yeah, you sure do pity them, yet you say, like, the baby tier of fucking transphobic fucking arguments. Oh, but you pity them. Oh, I'm sure you do, Nux. I'm sure you do.
They are manipulated by society, and that no one's willing to tell them the truth.
We're in the same boat. I obviously think it's stupid as
Like,
shit.
what fucking truth are you saying here? Besides, like, the mentally ill, schizophrenic bullshit that you guys are espousing right now. Again, stupid. It's based off of their own feelings, no facts whatsoever. Guess what? You can social transition is a thing. Trans youth are real. They should be protected and fucking respected, whether you fucking dipshits like it or not. I don't really give much of a shit. You guys can go fuck yourselves. Social transition can be stopped at any point in time if you don't think you're actually trans and you grow up and you feel like, actually, I don't feel like I'm trans. And puberty blockers can be stopped at any point in time. Stupid.
Yeah, but if I were to meet one in real life, and I'm friends.
Oh, by the way, and this is in the third Shamu video, Tectone used to be a bit of a trans ally. It turns out he didn't actually believe in any of that. So all this shit right now that's being said by Tectone, who again is a self-admitted grifter, in court transcripts from his court case with Pink Chew. Nothing can be believed out of this dumbass's fucking mouth. He doesn't believe in any of this stuff. He just says things in order to get clicks. That's it.
This person. I do just feel bad, right? But I'm not gonna be like, oh, fuck you, I'm gonna fucking punch you in the fucking nose, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, and I'm gonna fucking shit on you for it. I also feel fucking horrible because it's the way they were lived, it's what they were taught, and it's what they were convinced that they were, when in reality they just aren't.
Right. I'm not sitting here saying that to shit on trans people. I don't shit on trans people on an individual basis. I feel bad for them. I think it's like I wouldn't shit on schizophrenic people.
No, you don't.
I'm not schizophrenic, by the way. Just want to clarify that. I thought I was.
Yeah, I know. I heard the update. You were stabbed in the face. It's different. Yeah,
I thought I was.
I heard the lore.
Yes. And it makes a lot of sense. I think maybe because, dude, you know what it was? So I think I was like 19, and I went to New Mexico State University, and I just go up to this office with my brother, and there's this guy just sitting there and says, oh, tell me, you know, what's going on? I say, oh, well, sometimes at night I see people. And like, it was like the span of like 30 seconds. I say, oh, yeah, you're schizophrenic. Here, take these pills. And I'm like, okay, it was literally like a 30-second conversation. Got medication immediately. Then I go in my fucking room, and I take this medication, and that almost causes me to kill myself. Like, dude, I feel like we were so lucky.
My opinion on therapists are that, you know, 5% of them could save your life, and the other 95% of them can kill you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you need a good one.
That is genuinely... By the way, that is genuinely fucking insane. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? First off, like, we don't even know if Tectone's telling the truth in all of this. Second off, like, I'm pretty sure that's not how the procedure for any of this whatsoever, unless, again, we're talking about someone who is a corrupt, very, very corrupt therapist who has a deal with a pharma company that sells schizophrenic fucking medicine, because it's the same thing that happened with oxycodone. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think that's the fucking case, because not as many people who have schizophrenia in comparison to having fucking chronic pain in the United States of America.
If you're gonna get one, you need a really good one.
Yep. No, I agree.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because then once this person affirmed, like, you are schizophrenic, I'm like, oh, I am. And then everything became worse. Because then I'm horrified in my own mind. Because then I'm like, oh, okay, well, now I have all these weaknesses. So no, I mean, yeah, it's very dangerous, bro. It's very, very, very dangerous. I feel like people really need to do a lot more studying and need to be listening to a lot more of the perspective before they just go around handing around prescription drugs that fuck with the chemical balance of your fucking brain.
Jesus Christ, man. Puberty blockers, again, don't fuck with the chemical balances in your fucking brain. It's so stupid. It's just not how this works, man. You can get off of puberty blockers at any point in time, and the puberty just instantaneously happens. Just because, I don't know, allegedly in New Mexico State University, you had one strange therapist in the university who might have been not even accredited or licensed or whatever. We don't know any of the details into any of this stuff because that's the only fucking testimony. Does he even have any of the medical records for this specifically, for this diagnosis? Because he should be able to get that stuff. No, but whatever. Like, he could go, because as far as I could tell, you can actually probably prove this. Couldn't he go back to New Mexico University, to New Mexico State University, because they should have the medical records on this, and get those exact fucking records? But he never gets any of those records. That's a little interesting. Very, very interesting.
And look, man, speaking of drugs and chemical imbalances, there were like 4 instances of transgender violence in the last week in North America.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like,
there was even there was a transgender person who like stabbed like a little boy in his throat, was laughing about it.
He stabbed 2 kids apparently.
Yeah.
And you know, he was released on bail. He's not in jail.
What?
Yeah, they were just like, oh shit, that sucks. Anyway, your court date is, you know, in a month. You can go.
Jesus.
Well, okay. Let's try fucking check this goddamn claim. Trans woman stabbing a kid. USA. Sure. Grand Prairie parents stabbed their children in 2025. This is something from that. I'm not seeing anything about transgender woman. 4 teens and a 20-year-old sentenced for revenge. London trans teen. That's Brianna Gay, I think it's talking about there. Man accused of stabbing transgender teen 18 times. Well, that's in 2024. Transgender suspect charged in Blue City mailman's lunch. Stabbing death. U.S. postal worker. That's in 2025. I'm not seeing anything about this recent sort of stabbing attack from a transgender woman of a 5-year-old kid or something. Trans woman stabbing kid and laughing. Transgender father sentenced for stabbing children. That's in Alberta? Transgender Alice Atwood stabbed his 7-year-old son? His daughter needed emergency surgery to repair a severed esophagus. Was on a feeding tube for months. Okay, so that's not it. Yeah, first off, even if it did fucking happen, it's not a representative of all of them. I'm not finding this fucking story here that NuxTaku is claiming. Trans-identified man stabbed his 7-year-old and 8-year-old. This is the story from fucking Canada. Okay, this isn't from fucking Canada. Not in the US. Are they talking about Canada? I think this is what they're talking about. Yeah, trans-identified man stabbed his 7-year-old and 8-year-old kids. Daughter needed surgery for a severed esophagus. Admits he's dangerous on video, out on bail, living in a van that says every child matters. Canadian justice, everybody. Why do I have a feeling that this is probably not being exactly covered 100% correctly? And that, again, this is just not a representative of all fucking trans people. It's very, very fucking silly. Again, if we want to talk about who is, statistically speaking, going to be the highest danger to trans kids and trans individuals, generally speaking, it's mostly going to be straight men because they're the ones who, percentage-wise, are more violent because they are a higher proportion of the population and will do more violence. Like, duh. Okay. So I guess they're talking about this in Canada, I believe, specifically.
Christ, bro. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, there was also a mass shooting in Canada, killed 10 people, injured another 25. There was another one in a hockey
That's
rink.
Tumbler Ridge. That was, 7 people got killed, and 25 people were injured.
Shot his ex-wife and child.
I heard about that.
Who's a Nick Fuentes stan. They're not going to mention that trans woman was a fucking groiper.
There was another guy in California.
After, right? Or no?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the age-old saying, mercy to the guilty is punishment to the innocent. It's nuts, man. I mean, and it's really sad.
It's so sad.
Yeah, because I love our country. I love America, but there's so much corruption in the officials that are supposed to be running it. It just doesn't feel.
This is very funny coming from these two MAGA supporting fucking grifters.
Fair at all to the American citizens. I mean, I talk to my chatters quite often, and I know a lot of them are like hard-working individuals who are like barely scraping enough to get by, and knowing that
I'm
so
sure
much of our economy is so fucked up right now is because America is trying to prove that we aren't racist by catering to all of these illegal immigrants, and there's people.
No, Jesus fucking Christ. There's currently holy fucking shit. Oh my fucking Lord, that's not why the economy is bad in America. God, it's not because they're catering to immigrants, you fucking tariffs, war in Iran, and the one big beautiful bill. That's why the economy is currently fucking terrible in America. Stupid.
Killing themselves on the street to protect illegal immigrants who are fucking pedophile rapists, and our tax dollars are going to fund those people rather than taking care of the citizens of our country. And the worst thing is,
I don't think you realize how bad it is. It's so much worse than I think you think. It's so much worse because if we deported 30
I'm
million,
sure.
Let's say 30 million, all right? In an ideal world, we'd get 50 million, but let's say 30 million, okay?
Yeah.
All right? Think about the things that would get better overnight. So the housing market would go down, all right? Real estate would be cheaper and more affordable because supply and demand. You'd have free.
That's not the reason why American housing is fucking expensive, you fucking moron. Housing is expensive because of the fact that they are sold as commodities and are sold as real estate, is like speculative fucking assets. That is why the American housing market is as fucked as it is. It's not because of migrants taking all of those fucking houses. Do you two dumbasses really think that a migrant who comes over looking for a new life for themselves is immediately going to have the money necessary to buy a nice house in America? That's not how that works, you stupid motherfuckers. And they're not going to have immediate access to be able to get a job like that, or not a job like that, well, also a job like that, but a house like that, because they are illegal fucking immigrants. Stupid.
Empty houses to sell, right?
Yeah.
Rents would go down because now all of a sudden you have a surplus of apartments and not that many possible tenants, right? Because we deported, like these 30 million people are living somewhere. So the entire real estate market would get better overnight if this happened. All right? The job market would improve overnight if this happened.
There's not that many illegal migrants known in the United States. It's about 11 million, I think. Or is it 12 million? Something like that.
Overnight. Why? Yeah. Well, a lot of these people are hiring people that are illegal in the country. In fact, you can pay them less. You don't have to, write them down as paying taxes on their money. It's all in cash. It'll also increase the average salary.
Hey, Nux, that might be because of the fact that, immigrants are used for exploited labor because they have the threat of immigration hanging over their heads, Nux. That's a problem with capitalism, Nux. That's a left-wing argument that you're accidentally making there, Nux.
In the United States, because now, look, I want to hire someone to work at Starbucks, and I can't hire Jorge. All right, listen, I can't hire Jorge anymore, bro. I have to start paying people like normal wages, right? So it is a pretty insane.
Yeah, keep in mind, by the way, Nux said he wants to deport about 50 million people, and I was correct. The number of illegal migrants is about 12 million, max 14 million. So 12 to 14 million. You're off by about 36 million there, Nux. So guess what? You're going to be deporting either naturalized citizens, American citizens, or people who have fucking green cards. So, stupid.
Traffic. Right? If there's 30 million less people in the country, traffic's going to be better. Gas prices are going to go down. All right? And it's everything. All right?
Gas prices are not going to go down, you fucking retard. That's not how... Immigration doesn't have a fucking effect on an actual fucking, physical commodity, you fucking moron. Jesus Christ, he thinks deporting people is going to lower gas prices. Oh my god, he's so fucking... He's so stupid, man. Oh my fucking Lord, that's not going to do anything.
Dude, side note.
You ever go to the emergency room? You ever go to the emergency room
yes,
and you have to wait there for like 4 hours?
Yes.
It's mostly illegal aliens that don't have actual healthcare, but will get seen if they sit in the waiting room of the emergency room anyway.
Yep.
So whenever they have any issues...
That's not... Okay, because first off, why is that the case? They don't have access to medical services first. Nux, because they don't have access to Medicare or Medicaid. Nux. So how are they going to get a fucking doctor? Nux. Stupid. Because they don't have the money to fucking pay that shit for out of pocket because American healthcare is fucked. And generally speaking, in most societies, they don't want a bunch of people just dying out in the fucking streets from easily preventable diseases. So they're going to get emergency care that they need. Nux, that's how it works. Nux, you idiot, Nux. Again, this is a problem with the commodified healthcare system that exists in the United States. Idiot, 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 idiot.
They just go straight to the emergency room. So you won't have to sit there for 4 hours. Either. Like, there are so many things that would get...
Man, I wanted this to not maybe take longer than an hour, but it takes like fucking 2 hours because these guys are spewing so much misinformation and so much fucking bullshit that it's the God, what's the name of the fucking rule? The amount of bullshit that you can put out there is so much easier than the amount of time and effort it takes to debunk it.
Better overnight if we deported 30 million illegals, and we're doing this to kill ourselves because quite literally.
Literally, the number is right there of number of illegals. It's not 30 million, you fucking moron. It's 12 to 14 million. Stupid. Stupid. The numbers don't even add up. These guys talk about how, like, immigrants are all illiterate. I'm thinking that these two dumbasses might be way more illiterate than your average immigrant.
The Democrats are trying to steal votes.
Oh,
that's why they're here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're on the exact same page with this. Side note, a little bit more happy things.
3 IQ, fucking goddamn, fucking great replacement rhetoric. Because again, these guys are idiots.
Have a car?
Yeah.
Wait, I can't hear you. Do you say yes?
Yes. I have a car.
Can I ask what type of car you have?
I have a Tesla.
Me too, bro. It's the best.
Oh my! Wait, you got it?
I got it forever ago, bro.
I thought you didn't get it because Elon Musk didn't respond to you.
No, I don't care about one. I was getting one of those. I was hoping I'd get Elon Musk to give me one for free, but I was like dead set on getting one regardless. I got one.
Your dumbass was not getting one for free, of course. It's stupid.
Press a button. Oh, dude, and I'm just cruising.
Dude, you never have to stop at a gas station ever again. You plug it in when you get home, and that's it.
They are the best cars ever. I got the performance.
I like them, man.
I got the performance as well, bro. I got 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Oh my god, it is so. I didn't get the Cybertruck though. I was thinking about getting the Cybertruck. That's the one where I'm gonna wait for Elon to give me one for free.
That'll happen.
Yeah,
it'll happen.
It will.
One day.
It will.
Yeah, man. Elon's totally gonna give you a Cybertruck for free, man. Sure, man.
But yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about? I was about to wrap up stream here.
All right. Well, in that case, to be continued, I guess. There are a lot more topics to talk about another day.
No, this was fucking awesome, man. Like, I would absolutely love to do this. If you want to meet up once a week, I would love to.
I'm down.
Oh yeah. You're live on Kick right now or no?
No.
Okay. Are you going live later today or no?
We're definitely going to take a look at episode 2 because apparently there is an episode 2, so that's going to be fun.
And probably not. I was live early this morning.
Okay. Well, let me link your Kick channel to my YouTube channel real quick. I don't know if you've seen this. You probably haven't. There's 2 creators in the gacha space right now who are legitimately suing each other over a false copyright strike. And I kind of want to give you the TLDR, and then from the outside perspective, I want to kind of get your opinion on who you think's gonna win.
Okay, I do not care about whatever drama these guys are fucking going to talk about. I could care less about that. So as expected from this quote-unquote talk these 2 troglodytes had, Nux basically just lied or had no idea what the fuck he was talking about. Shocker. Barely knows anything about immigration statistics, lied about immigration statistics. They don't know anything about IQ or the Flynn effect or in general anything about genetics or intelligence because these guys are both incredibly unintelligent themselves. And they barely understand anything about the fucking U.S. justice system because, again, they're just both a bunch of, like, corrupt idiot fucking weirdos who barely know anything about any of the topics that they talk about because they're both 2 stupid fucking grifters who are only appealing to the further right audience that they appeal to in order to get a bunch of fucking goddamn clicks. Yeah. I don't think there's really much else to say besides Tectone and Nux are both sniveling fucking morons.